Guys, what is going on with the markets today? Look at the dollar right here. We spiked right up out of this descending triangle. This is something that I posted inside of 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. You already know the deal. It's going to be the first link in the description down below. And Bitcoin at the same time actually also ended up dipping down. It's not this dip, is it? Oh yeah, it was this dip right here, where we fell below $19,000. We fumbled the bag. We fumbled the bag, ladies and gents. We fell down to about 18.7, now right back up into this 19K range. And before I get into the analysis, I just want to say that to me, as somebody that's been in this space, I joined this space when Bitcoin was at about $2,000 for the first time ever. This is like, I don't know, March 2017. It's really weird for me to be frustrated, along with you, to be frustrated that Bitcoin cannot seem to breach 20K. But anyway, I want to get that out of the way just to offer a little bit of perspective, because 20K is really fucking high, guys. 20K is still a really high price tag for Bitcoin. But anyway, let's get straight into this, guys, because look, we ended up dipping down. This obviously correlated with the spike in the dollar. Some interesting stuff going on. You know, the pound ended up kind of rallying up a little bit. I think this was the rally right here when their prime minister in the UK ended up resigning. Total shit show, you know, and the pound's just kind of been a little bit stable since then, but we have seen this, you know, kind of still a little bit of whiplash down and then up. Yes, I have changed the arrow finally. I'm just using normal lines, and I really like this new color. Throw up a thumbs up on this video if you think that's cool. And bringing the soul back to the point of the video, the reason that I think this is a big deal is this did actually coincide with, quite a large move for the dollar right here, where it actually broke out of this descending triangle. And again, this is something that I spoke about on, you know, inside of VIP, and I did forward that post into 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, which the logo for it is right here. So check it out with the link down below, because guys, you're getting free analysis around the clock, free of charge. Like I said, just ping straight to your phone. So, you know, if you like what we're putting out, you want to get more of it, you don't want to pay anything, it's all going to be down there with the first link in the description down below. We were talking about this descending triangle and what might happen if the dollar kind of, you know, plays this out. And you know what? You know, we fell back down to the support area now. So that's the confirmation. That's all I needed to see. That is the confirmation that the dollar is going to be potentially, you know, kind of playing out this descending triangle now. Now, obviously, there's a few different ways to define what a breakout means for this. The main way in kind of conventional, traditional analysis, which is what I subscribe to. I'm one of the more traditional analysts in this space, because it's the only form of analysis that works. But anyway, we won't get into that right now. If you end up dropping down, regardless of how we drop, what we're looking for is to fall out of this range a little bit, and then actually get a back test here. So this is what I call the kiss of death, and then potentially move down. Okay, so it doesn't matter how we drop down, and it doesn't matter how low we drop down, but ideally we want to get that bam right there, that flip of support levels turning into a resistance level. And so that's something that I'm going to be watching out for. To me now, it looks very, very clear that the dollar could end up dropping, and I'll tell you why that's a big deal for Bitcoin in just a minute. Again, if you're excited for it, do me a favor and smash up the likes here, guys. Just double check that you're subscribed as well. Quite a few of you are watching these videos regularly because whatever, you find them useful. But if you're not subscribed, you're not going to get all of them, okay? And if you don't get all of them, you're going to miss valuable information. So just double check that you've done that. Double check that you've also checked the bell icon so that you do get notified when these extremely time-sensitive videos come out. But the reason that I think that the dollar could potentially be looking to rip down a little bit is because we got this breakout, guys. We got this breakout and it shook a lot of people out of the market. You know, it's obviously with Bitcoin, the inverse happened where Bitcoin ended up dropping. So that shook a lot of people out of their long positions and so on. You know, people having their stop losses just a little bit below $19,000. They've been stopped out because the price went down to about $18,670, right? So, you know, that's a $300 move below 19,000, and that equates to about, I don't know, 1.5%, you know, so 1.5%, yeah. You know, so that's enough for high leverage players to get stopped out. And the other big thing that I want to point out is, you know, if we take a look at this line right here and we just kind of extend this, well, just move it to over here, this is kind of the same level. You know, I should actually just drop a line now. You know, it kind of looks to me like the dollar has formed a bit of a double top pattern, and this is one of a few bearish things that the dollar has done now. You know, the other things that I want to point out to you are, actually, with the exception of what happened today, but this is really bad. I'll get to it in just a second. With the exception of what happened today, ladies and gents, the dollar has actually been setting a pattern of lower highs. Take a look at this. Our highs are getting lower right here, all the way up until what happened to today. And we haven't quite been setting lower lows. We were for a little bit. Take a look at this. These lows were getting lower, but then we started to punch in. a couple higher lows. For the most part, there isn't a real trend here for the lower lows that I want to see, but really the key thing is I need to see this line being breached. Okay, so if this line gets breached, that's going to put us down below 110 on this index, which is about a 2% drop, 3% drop from here. So nothing crazy, but for the dollar, this would be a big deal. It would represent some relief. Most likely, well, no, definitely would represent some relief for the basket of currencies that this US dollar index, the DXY, is formed with. So obviously, for those of you who don't know by now, the DXY, the Dixie, is comprised of, it's not Dixie, we just say that. It's comprised of, a comparison between the dollar and the pound, the yen, euro, Swiss franc, whatever, a bunch of other cool big currencies, and what we might end up seeing if we sweep this low right here is that we're going to be setting a pattern of lower highs and a pattern of lower lows. Okay, so that's something that, it's really weird that I don't have the arrow anymore, so that's something that I want to be watching out for. But even better than all of that, guys, because what this would represent is some relief in the market, and like I said, I'll get to that in just a second, but even better than all of that right here in this chart to me is the fact that we had this breakout up, guys. This is a fairly big breakout. I mean, I know that I usually say kind of 1 to 3% is what we're looking for, but that's for kind of speculative markets, not the biggest currency in the bloody world. To break out by 0.77% is a big deal, but even bigger than that, to top out at the same level, to form a double top, to not even get up to this trend high, and then even worse than that for the dollar, ladies and gents, to get smacked right back down like this. This is a really, really big deal. Not only did we get smacked back down, we didn't drop down by a little bit, ladies and gents. We didn't drop down to this support level and then bounce back up. We didn't drop down to the middle of this descending triangle and then bounce back up. We fell to the absolute bottom here. We fell down to the low that we bounced off of only 3 days ago, but still certainly an important time in this market right here, because this is quite volatile. This is more volatile than the dollar usually is. So there's obviously more kind of action going around here, and to see that we're kind of down to this support level now, I mean, it doesn't, you don't need to have an extensive background in TA to know that this is not good. When you get a bullish breakout and then you fumble it, and then you lose it, that's not a good position to be in. And you guys who've been paying attention to this YouTube channel for a while, who've been watching me consistently, you're going to know that I always say the same thing for Bitcoin, ladies and gents. When Bitcoin ends up kind of, getting a nice breakout, but then losing steam, that's a bad thing. And I say that whether it happens to the upside or the downside. So what we have right now, I think, is a pretty clear confirmation that while there was a breakout that was attempted to be made for the dollar right here, it didn't end up happening. One of the things that I always say is when the bulls have had a really good chance to kind of push the market in one direction, if they don't get to follow through on that, then to me, just kind of from what I'm seeing, that does basically throw the ball into the court of the bears. Okay, so if the bulls have a window of opportunity and they don't take it, that window of opportunity will move to the bears, and that, I think, is exactly what we might see right here. So if we see a little bit of consolidation down at this low, that's going to be even more I don't need more confirmation than this. This is great. If we do end up rising above this descending triangle line, then again, we might have a little bit of a problem, but this wouldn't be the first time that we faked out. So it's not like I'd be hugely concerned, but at the same time, 2 fake outs is enough. I don't think that we need to revisit these highs again unless we do find resistance. There's still quite a long time that this might take to play out. If we kind of look at how long this descending triangle goes on for, to reach the apex, we'd have to trade in here for 40 days. But as you guys know, usually we're, if you would know this if you've been a long-term viewer, I haven't said this for a while, we're usually only going to be breaking out anywhere between 66%, which would be 26 days in. Where is that? 26 days right here. Anywhere between 66% and, one sec, let me do the math here, and 75% of the completion of this pennant. So anywhere between here, let me drop a line, and we'd be 30 days in. So anywhere between here as well. So right around there. This is kind of the time, the ideal time for this to break out. Now that I've drawn this on the chart, it looks a little bit less feasible because we would have to really tighten within this range. So I don't know if we're going to stay in here for that long. Hopefully we're going to see a resolution to this fairly quickly. This basically means that we might see a resolution in about 10 days. I think that can come sooner. I think that we're probably going to see a resolution to this literally next week. So, let's hope that this happens fast, and let's hope that, well, for the sake of our bags, it drops. Obviously, it's not nice if it does drop in in general, because it means everybody in the US and by extension in the rest of the world gets poorer. But that's a discussion for another day. Don't want to get too complicated there. Don't want to get too deep into it. The reason that I think this is a big deal is quite straightforward, guys. There's a very clear inverse correlation between the dollar and Bitcoin. I'm not going to run you through that right now, but if you are curious, go ahead and find this compare icon on your TradingView chart. If you don't know what TradingView is or how to use it, bam, link in the description, where I've got a really cool code for you. I think it's like a discount on TradingView or whatever. And if you're already inside of 𝗓𝗡𝗡's VIP, then you probably already have the course as well, free of charge. If you want to get it, it's by following these steps on screen. And there is a really long, big tutorial for TradingView, super comprehensive. It covers absolutely everything that I use on TradingView, and you might find that very, very useful. So go ahead and check that out as well. But the reason that I think this is a big deal for Bitcoin, guys, is that if the dollar does end up dropping, that would potentially indicate that money might be flowing out of the dollar and into speculative assets. And, that still kind of makes sense for things like the S&P 500. I think it's holding on pretty well here, guys. It's not really doing too much, but it's certainly not kind of gravitating towards its lows that much either. It's not doing great, certainly not doing terribly either. What I want to see is, are we able to get above this high at 3,800? If that happens, then I will be looking at hitting this green box. If that happens and we break it, I'm looking at this yellow box. So that would be anywhere between 3,900 to 4,000 for the S&P 500. And then the next area of resistance would be 4,100 to 4,170. And those are important levels that I'm going to be watching. So far, nothing crazy is happening. And it does look like one of the ideas I have discussed on this YouTube channel previously, which actually, like I said, was not my idea. This was MD Crypto on his YouTube channel. He said this, and then I said it to you guys as well, because the idea makes sense, is that we could end up seeing the S&P 500 kind of trade sideways a little bit like this, perhaps towards the end of the year. I don't know, and that it's hard to say what that would mean for Bitcoin, but it probably wouldn't be a bad thing. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for. A lot of people, guys, are getting very, very upset with Bitcoin not doing anything. We're breaking out of patterns and then not doing anything with it, and everybody and their nan is talking about the fact that Bitcoin has been now, if we kind of measure this range, Bitcoin has been for 60 days in exactly the same place, and if we measure this back just 30 days, we haven't even had any sort of breakout or breakdown, for 30 days, but then, we entered this range about 60 days ago, and this broader range just kind of in the low 20,000s or just kind of a touch below 20K, we have been down here now for over 4 months. So an extremely long period of time, ladies and gents, that we've been stuck down in this range at this point. And obviously our resolution is going to come. I don't know why people start to think that this is going to be like this forever. This is always what precedes a really big move. And the biggest idea going around in the space right now is going to be the descending triangle that Bitcoin is forming. So this is something that we've spoken about already on this YouTube channel. This won't be new to you if you've been watching us throughout this kind of market. But, I'm not so convinced by this. I'll tell you why. The thing is this is a pretty short-term pattern, guys. I mean, it kind of starts, here, just 4 months ago, and we've only seen so far one hit of the resistance, or possibly just two, but nothing more, nothing absolutely crazy, nothing that I think is a genuine, kind of really big deal here, and the reason that people are talking about this is they're actually comparing it to what happened to Bitcoin right here in 2018. So this is a much nicer descending triangle. We were talking about this on the YouTube channel back then, so shout out to those of you who have been tuned into this YouTube channel for all this time. Obviously, you've literally seen me grow up in that time, which is pretty crazy. Just a water bottle, it's all good. And you will remember that one of the things I was talking about, especially towards the end of this, before it had its resolution here, is that we could end up dropping down. And I didn't expect 3K, but I was saying levels like $4,000 or $5,000 could be on the horizon. And the thing is a lot of people are saying that this could end up being what we have right now over here. It obviously looks pretty similar, so I can understand why people are saying that, but this is a much shorter term pattern. Like I said, it's been going on for about 4 months so far, so not a super long period of time. And if you measure what we saw last time, this was 300 days. So this was damn near a 1 year descending triangle in terms of how long it played out for. In this one, if we go all the way up to the apex, is only 200 days. So it's still a large amount of time. Don't get me wrong. It's still pretty significant, but I don't know about, I don't like the idea of comparing it to that. maybe that's just my bias. I gotta be honest with you guys. Obviously, I'm biased. I do still think that the market has a better chance of rising up than I think it has of dropping down. Even though so many technical factors are pointing to it going down, I think many factors are also pointing to it going up, and nobody is paying attention to them. Okay, nobody is paying attention to them. There is bear porn everywhere. Okay, if you are a bear, you've got unlimited material to get yourself off, ladies and gents. You already know the deal. You don't have to go further than the comment section of any YouTube video here, or taking a look at Twitter for the crypto space and everything. Everybody and their nan is extremely bearish. I've been saying this for a long time, guys. We've been stuck in extreme fear for so damn long. Can we get another catastrophic dump while we're already in extreme fear? Of course we can, 100%. We've done it before. We'll do it again in the future. But is it likely? Is it something that is a good, probably has a good chance of happening? I'm not so sure about that, guys. I'm not so sure about that. We've been stuck down here for a really long time. What I really like about this fear and greed index is that the scale doesn't change. 0 is always here, 100 is always here. It's not like on TradingView where if I zoom in, the scale changes, and if I zoom out, the scale changes, because that can kind of warp your perspective on things. This has flatlined. When I say flatline, guys, I'm not using this word like to be dramatic. It's flatlining. It's not moving. Okay, we're not getting below this line that represents 20, and we're not getting above this line that represents 30. We're flatlining. This is very unusual. You take a look at the last 3 months, guys. This is we've been here since the second half of August. So that's a whole 2 months. It's a whole 2 months, and before that, it's not like we were extremely volatile anyway. We take a look at kind of what was happening before. We were really swinging before. Really doing some quite crazy shit. That ended. That has ended, and could it be that we're in distribution because of that? Absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of good arguments to suggest that we will end up dropping down. But like I said, when the sentiment is looking like this, when people are just kind of losing faith and all of these things that happen when a market, I'm not saying bottoms out, but for sure, potentially begins a relief rally, to me, that just makes sense. It just makes sense. Now, I think this is still going to be dependent on the dollar, and so what I'm watching is the dollar to see if we do end up continuing to drop down a little bit, especially if we drop below this yellow box. That's going to be great confirmation, because, guys, the dollar hasn't really faltered as in slowed down very much throughout this kind of extremely crazy uptrend that it started. When was this? Back in summer of 2021. So especially when things got really crazy, which I think is fair to say happened around here, anything after this red line. Guys, take a look at how long the dollar paused for. So on this occasion here, dollar paused for about 30 days. On this occasion, we pulled back. What am I doing? On this occasion here, we pulled back for about 20 days. This one lasted 14. This one lasted 29. So again, by faltered, by slowed down, I just mean any time that things just kind of stopped, right? This one right here, about 14 days. So you can get an idea. I mean, it doesn't take very long for this to resolve for the dollar, but on this occasion, we're already kind of up to 24 days, so this is about the upper limit of what happens for the dollar in terms of, when it kind of starts to slow down a little bit. And we've seen a fair bit of volatility. Usually we would just see a little bit of a drop and then we keep going. Sometimes we would see a small drop and then a bit of sideways and then we keep going. This has been, if we end up doing something like this, we'd kind of, we'd end up forming a bit of a bull flag. You know what I mean? Like it's taking a while is my point. We're bouncing and people don't really know what's going on. And obviously that's being reflected in the dollar too. This is indecision basically when when something is moving up and then it stops moving up represents indecision. It means that people don't really know what they want to do. Look, as I'm speaking, we've just fallen below 112 right here. So, to me, that's a pretty good sign. I certainly think that this could be an indication that Bitcoin could be ready to rise up a little bit. More importantly, the S&P 500, I think, could be looking at a nice little rise right here. Yeah, it closed in about 1 hour. And it's been a decent day, for the S&P 500. It's been a pretty good day. If we kind of zoom in, take a look at what's ended up happening right here, it's moved up. It's moved up a fair bit. It's exactly what we would expect. So I don't know exactly what caused the pump for the dollar. I don't know what caused the subsequent dump. But what I do know is that from a technical perspective, that is a very real example of a very real rejection. Okay, so if the dollar is getting that kind of rejection, what does that mean for Bitcoin? So that's the question that I'm asking. That's what I've been looking at. The single most reliable tools that I've had at my disposal over this last year and a half have been the dollar and sentiment. Okay, more than technicals, which is obviously what this channel is around. they're both technical factors, I guess, technically. But other than the charts and boxes that I'm drawing, these two have been extremely, extremely valuable. Maybe not more valuable, but certainly in my favorite tools that I've got, my toolbox, so to speak. And that is what I'm paying attention to. I'm not really interested in anything else. With that, though, ladies and gents, I'm going to be getting going. We're back in Dubai. It feels really good to be back. I've been traveling so much this year. I hope it ends soon. I used to wish to travel all the time, and now that I'm doing it, it is so exhausting. But we're back. We're back. Good problem to have. It's a very good problem. I'm super grateful. But if you are excited for the fact that I'm back here, then throw up a like on this video. That would be amazing. Double check that you're subscribed and all of that good stuff. And guys, I just want to highlight this to you again. With all the trading opportunities that we've got in this market right now, Bybit is going to be the best place to be, in my opinion. I've been trading with them for years. I've been working with them for years, and I absolutely love them to bits. If you want to check them out, you're going to be getting huge bonuses, $4,000 in bonuses by signing up using my link in the description down below. And BitGet is also offering you guys something similar as well. There's an 8K bonus campaign, but there's also a much easier bonus campaign where you can get $400, which isn't nearly as much as the other bonuses, but it's super easy to get that bonus compared to the other requirements, which you can check out by following the link in the description down below. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, if you want to get free cash, literally free cash that you can trade with, if you deposit $4,000 and you trade a little bit, you get $400 for free that you can do whatever you like with. You can gamble with it, you can trade with it, whatever you like. You are going to have that free cash. Bybit's got the same offer, goes up to $4,000. It's a little bit harder to get it, but go ahead and check all of this stuff out with the links down below. It's free money, guys. It's only going to require a few clicks. And by the way, if you already have an account on either of these exchanges, you will have to make a new one to get this. Final note I want to say, because this is really, really cool. BitGet doesn't require a VPN or KYC to use it, which is great. You can imagine how that might be useful. It works worldwide. There is not a single place that you can use this without a VPN and without KYC. So guys, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check it out. Really, really cool offers right here. If you want to jump inside VIP, see what the deal is behind those closed doors, what we've been doing, how we've been getting up in these markets, just close that fill position. It was a profit, not as big as I wanted, but it was a profit nonetheless. If you want to see what we're going to be doing moving forward, because this market, when it heats up, we're going to be ready to pounce. And just to be clear, by the way, some people do wonder, because VIP is a subscription service, we're not charging anybody in this time, okay? So if you've got a VIP subscription already, you've already noticed this. We haven't reached out to renew anything, because I can't do anything in this market. If the market is flat, I can't trade it, and I'm not going to charge you, to just sit there and watch me doing nothing. So, when this stuff does heat up again, we'll wait a little bit, give everyone a really nice chance to kind of engage with what we're providing, and that's something that we've done ever since the beginning. When the value isn't 250% there, you're just not going to get charged. And that's one of the great things we can do, because we're a small business. So there you go. If you've enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell. I'll see you all in the next video. Check out Bybit and BitGet for your amazing bonuses. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.